This is going to be that part three of that thing I was telling you about. Know who you're marrying. The first one was communication. The second one was sex, and this one is going to be about finances. And this is so important too, because all three of the things that I spoke about are very important. But financing, so many people break up. So many people get divorced because of financing. And this is exactly what I mean, because people say it doesn't make a difference, but it does. If you getting ready to get married to somebody, okay, and you talking about spending the rest of your life with somebody, you need to know their finances. People don't sit up here and people say, oh, well, you don't need to know. You need to know somebody's finances. You need to know, listen, you need to know their credit score, okay? Like I said, and you need to know if their credit is bad because of the bills that they don't pay, and they don't care to pay their bills. Because see, you have some people that run around here brand new cars, making good money, and brand new cars, and running around here nice clothes and house and everything else and whatnot. You understand me? And could be debt up to their yin yang because of their credit is bad. Okay? And you marry somebody, you marry into this. When you marry somebody, you take on their credit. You take on the everything that goes along with that goes on with you too. When your name becomes their name, all that comes on you too. This is why I say know who you're marrying. When it comes to finances and whatnot, okay? I'm not sitting up here saying if somebody has a bad credit score that you shouldn't marry them. But you need to find out why they have a bad credit score and what they're doing about it. And if they're working on getting things together and y'all want to work on it together, that's fine. That's a good thing. Okay? But if they sit up here and say, don't worry about it, and they not worrying about paying bills and they going in bankruptcy and everything else and whatnot, and they not worrying about it, and they say, well, 7 years it'll be off my credit report, and that's a red flag right there. You really don't want to marry somebody that operates in bad finances. Okay, somebody that don't know how to pay a bill, somebody that pays the bills late all the time, somebody that don't want to pay a bill at all. Okay, somebody that credit score is so low, okay, and I'm talking about 300, 400 and whatnot, that they can't even go to the store and get a piece of candy and whatnot because their credit score is so low, and yet and still they don't want to do anything about it. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people that have bad credit scores and whatnot and trying to improve. I've been there, done that. I know my credit score was bad at one time. I had to bring it up. But I did something about it. I worked on it. I brought it up and whatnot. I cared enough about myself. I didn't want to stay in that predicament. But if you have somebody that's okay with that predicament, that want to stay in that predicament, that don't care about not paying bills, and you want to marry this person, you're taking on something and whatnot that they have that's going to come on your side and it's going to affect you. And when it starts affecting you and whatnot, if you that kind of person that cares about this stuff, it's going to affect the marriage. Most people that sit up here and get divorced has to do with finances. 9 times out of 10, people that get divorces, it's always some kind of financial problem. There was not enough money. The bills wasn't getting paid. Do you want to marry somebody and you don't know if you're going to have a roof over your head the next week? Do you want to marry somebody that when it comes to having food in the house, you go to open your refrigerator and whatnot, there's no food in the house, or you come home and the gas and electric is cut off and whatnot because they haven't paid the bill? Okay, and every time you need to get something, you have to use your credit because their credit's so bad that you can't even get nothing in their name, and everything goes in your name. Yet and still, you're married to this person, and you can't put nothing in their name because their credit is so bad. And this is the person that you want to marry, though. Okay, that's why I said know who you're marrying. Finances has a lot to do with the person that you're marrying. If they don't care about their finances, you better make sure they care. They don't. Let me put it this way: if they don't care about their finances, they're not really caring about you too much either. Because to be honest with you, if somebody has bad finances and you get ready to get married to them and they don't care about the finances, you better worry about where you're going to be living at a month from now, a year from now. You better worry about your gas and electric being turned off. You better worry about everything that you buy, a car, whatever the case may be, is going to come on you and you're going to have to get it. And these are the same people that'll sit up here and use your credit and get mad at you when you don't let them use your credit and sit up here and use your credit, mess your credit up. Now you got to sit up here and get your credit back in order just because you sat up here and never had this financial talk with somebody. Sit down with the person that you get married to and have a conversation on finances. What are we going to do about bills? What are we going to do about putting money in the bank? What are we going to do if we got bad credit scores and whatnot? How are we going to bring this up? What are we going to do if we need a car or we want to get a house? Are we going to be able to do this together, or am I going to have to do this by myself? You need to know all this stuff when you get ready to marry somebody. Like I said, know who you marrying before you marry somebody. Finances has a lot to do with this, and yet and still we overlook finances all the time. We think that well, his finances is not good or her finances is not good, but I make enough and whatnot, and I can do this and I can do that, so I'm going to get ahead and do this, and I'll worry about it, as we go along. The problem is, when you worry about it, when you go along, somewhere along the line, somewhere along the line, it's going to come back to bite you, and it's going to haunt you. And the next thing you know, y'all going to be arguing, y'all going to be fighting, y'all going to be getting into things about finances. Instead of you just handle it in the beginning, before you put your hand on that dotted line and say, I do, you need to sit up here and talk to that person and whatnot and find out about their finances, what to do about their how they handle their finances. When you're going to sit up here and to get together, do you really want to get together with somebody that don't have a clue on how to pay a bill, or somebody that don't have a clue on if they late and whatnot, they gotta pay late fees or whatever. Every month they paying late fees, and you got $30 and $40 every time a bill comes in. They paying $30, $40. This is money that you could be saving up, that you paying on late fees because you have somebody that don't have a clue about finances. Sometimes you need to take a financial class. If you have to do that, then do it together. You're building together. This is what finances is all about, building together. But if you're going into a marriage and one person is going one way and another person is going the other way, it is not going to work when it comes to marriages. Okay, we're talking about married folks. We're not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend here. We're talking about people that's getting married. Know who you're marrying before you get married to. Finances has a lot to do with marriages. Most people get separated and divorced because of finances. So before you put your hand on that dotted line, before you sit up here and say, I do, like I said, sit down, have that conversation with that person. Let that person know, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. You check your finances. Listen, everybody, it's okay to have different bank accounts. Okay, because everybody needs their own space, their own privacy. But if you're going to have different bank accounts and you married, then you should also have a bank account that's going to be for the household, that's going to be for emergencies, that's going to be that both of y'all can sit up here and get in together, put money in together. If anything happens, you can get it out of it together and whatnot. You need to have that. But if you have one bank account, he has another bank account and whatnot, and y'all don't know each other's finances, and every time something goes on and whatnot, you got to sit up here and go to your bank account to pay the bill that he didn't pay, or you got to pay the bill that she didn't pay, you're heading down the wrong road. That's why I said finances have a lot to do with this. So know who you marrying before you sign on that dotted line and whatnot when it comes to finances. Check people's finances out. You don't have to get detailed and whatnot and go do a whole thing on people, but sit down and just have the conversation. Sit down and put it on paper. Find out where their finances are. Find out what they need help with. Find out what y'all have to work on. This way, when you work together and whatnot, you can succeed in anything. But if you don't work together and you got finances going one way and they going the other way, you heading down a road of trouble. So this is part 3 of know who you're marrying when it comes to finances.